Now we turn to a major legal story out of Texas, where for a long time, this state, run by Republican Governor Greg Abbott, has been on track to execute a mother for the death of her 2-year-old daughter, Mariah. This mother, Melissa Lucio, was convicted of murder over the 2007 death. Now, like so many cases, the controversy really comes down to facts. A parent murdering a toddler is one of the worst crimes imaginable. But the state pressuring or setting up a grieving parent into that false charge would be a whole different and separate injustice, especially if the head prosecutor involved might have tainted the case after getting convicted for bribery and extortion in other matters. And while a jury did convict Lucio based on the state's theory of the case, that she beat her daughter to death, making it a deliberate, intentional criminal murder, more and more evidence has added some doubts here, including what her team alleges was false evidence, like a Texas Ranger's testimony that he could just tell she was guilty by looking at her, by her demeanor, and later emerging evidence suggesting that her daughter's condition matched an accidental fall down steep stairs. Well, that medical condition of a deceased individual would be very different than what you'd need to show murder beyond a reasonable doubt. An appeals court recently cited some of the developments I just mentioned, and more on that in a moment. But when you hear about these kind of cases, you may start to wonder, well, okay, what does Texas even have on its side if they did get, as I told you, the murder conviction? Well, it's something many jurors assume to be powerful evidence, a confession. In this case, the confession from the grieving mother. But here's the thing. There's a big difference between someone suddenly or earnestly running out and confessing, perhaps over personal guilt or the desire to get less time in prison if they think they're going to get caught. A difference between that and someone systematically, brutally pressured into it. In fact, whether it sounds surprising or not, many people who've been later exonerated after convictions, basically found legally innocent, first gave coerced or false confessions, about 25%, according to the Innocence Project. Now, keep that in mind as you consider what jurors saw in this exact case that I'm reporting to you tonight. Lucio saying at one point, "I just did it." Words she uttered, though, only after she'd already insisted on and repeated her own innocence over 100 times. They counted that up. But these individuals here working for Texas, they just kept pounding her in a marathon 5-hour interrogation that went until 3 a.m. And this was while she was in shock, grief-stricken, because this interrogation you're about to see a short clip of, it began within 2 hours of her own daughter's tragic death.
If I beat you half to death, like that little child was beat, I bet you'd die too.
So I did not beat my daughter, sir.
We all get upset. We already know what happened. We already know what happened.
They just kept throwing so many words at me, and I just told them I'm responsible for Mariah's bruises. They wanted to hear something.
Did she make you mad?
Mm-hmm.
Then why'd you do it?
I just did it.
Keep in mind, that's all within 10 hours of her daughter's death. That's how prosecutors bore down on that grieving mother. Now, once they got those words, they pressed on with their case. Lucio's team says it wasn't a thorough investigation by definition because they hadn't gone and consulted all the medical evidence or interviewed a lot of people. They just started right there with what you saw. Now, as time went on after her trial, where she was convicted by a jury of her peers, 5 of the 12 jurors publicly questioned their decision one way or another, and some spoke out forcefully, one voicing deep regret for voting to convict once they'd learned more information, writing in an essay in the Houston Chronicle, "I was wrong." Texas pressed on. In fact, everything I'm telling you is, as far as Texas is concerned, as far as the executive branch is concerned, just fine. Because the execution remains scheduled for this Wednesday, and if the Texas government got its way, she would be killed this Wednesday. That brings us to the news tonight. I've shared with you the background because it is so essential to even understanding what we're dealing with when you look at these cases. But the news tonight is now an appeals court is blocking this execution, issuing a formal stay. Here's how the news broke and how it was shared with Lucio, a state lawmaker telling her The execution paused and stayed.
The Court of Criminal Appeals issued a stay of your execution for reinstate.
That is wonderful. Oh my God. What does that mean?
Well, it means you're going to wake up on Thursday morning.
Oh my goodness.
And
Oh, thank you, God.
You can just hear the emotion there. What does it mean? Well, it means she's not going to be killed this week. But what else does it mean? She's still clearly, obviously incarcerated. What else does it mean about our justice system? What does it mean that we do it this way when it does not need to be done this way? Legally, the case heads to a lower court to consider some of the new evidence we reported on tonight and to decide whether there should be a new trial in this case. We will stay on the story, and we'll be right back.